r/ask Reddit. Medical professionals of Reddit, have you ever had a patient so lacking in common sense you wondered how they made it this far? If so, what is your story? Story 1. I'm a pharmacist. One evening shift, I was working a relief shift, not my usual pharmacy. A man comes in looking distressed. Man, I had sexual relations with a woman I do not intend to pursue a long term relationship with. Yes, he said it just like that. Me. Okay. I'm assuming there was an accident or it was unprotected. How long ago did it happen? Man. Last night at 7 p.m. on the couch. Whoa, TMI. I just need to know the approximate time to know if Plan B will work. Me. We have this medication called Plan B, and since the incident happened within 72 hours, man, oh yes, I got that for her already yesterday, right after we finish. We want to know if there is anything we can do to know if she's pregnant now. Me. Unfortunately, not. She'll have to wait 3 weeks or so to see if she gets her period. And if she doesn't, then she can do a pregnancy test then too. Theoretically, you could do a blood test for faster results, but that would also not be until a couple of weeks at least. Man, we're we're just really anxious because she really doesn't want to be pregnant. Is there anything that she can take to prevent the pregnancy? Any multivitamin, minerals, food? Me. She already taken it, which was the plan B. There are some other options, but those are prescriptions. And no, there are no over the counter products she can take. Man, what about me? Is there anything I can take now to prevent the pregnancy? Any multivitamins or minerals? Me. No, sir. There isn't anything you can take now. Story 2. 73 here, formal clinical microbiologist. Long ago. Still, I found myself all over the clinical lab at times, not just infectious disease. So one day, this 20 something guy, wife and mom in tow, walks in with a paper request for semen analysis, pre computer era. Okay, not the most comfortable encounter, but I'm a professional and did this drill many of times. He had not been briefed by the doc and had no idea how establishing infertility in males was done. Well, okay, a challenge then. I took him aside and, using standard medical terminology, told him how a diagnosis is made and what he needed to do to provide a specimen. He couldn't/wouldn't believe that I was asking him to masturbate into the container. Astonished. Then he played dumb, as if the word was unfamiliar to him. We looped through the medical terms and procedures again, and I eventually resorted to every word I knew to describe the. It was like a George Carlin bit. A half hour later, he emerged from the toilet with 2 inches of urine in the cup. God Almighty. The report went back. Patient provided improper specimen. Story 3. Had an 18 or 19-year-old girl come in my ER with some complaint that required an x-ray. It's standard that we do a urine pregnancy test prior to imaging on any female or childbearing years. She's insisted she's never had sex and there was zero possibility of pregnancy. We did the test anyway and it resulted that she was pregnant. We did a blood pregnancy test to confirm the result, since she insisted she couldn't possibly be pregnant because she's never had sex. That was positive too. We gave her a few minutes to herself to figure out what the hell happened, and when I returned to check on her a short time later, she asked me if she could get pregnant even though her boyfriend didn't go all the way in. She 100% believed that as long as his member wasn't entirely in her, it didn't count as sex. It took nearly a half hour of explaining reproduction to her for her to understand that whether it's halfway in or all the way, sperm travels. Story 4. Not a personal experience, but one from a colleague of mine. I only saw the pics. So this 60-year-old something suffers from an acute compilation and gets a pacemaker to solve the problem. Everything goes normally and as planned. He recovers. Every care and meds that he needs to take are prescribed, explained, and medical appointments with a cardiologist slash arrhythmologist are scheduled so that he may get the follow-up he needs. The man then proceeds to never show up to any appointment and never answers any calls from the hospital to know of him and reschedule. This went on for about 3 years until he shows up without formal warning and asks to talk with the doctor that did the procedure to put his pacemaker in. People are weirded out, but seeing that on that day the doctor was present and this patient was in clear distress, they talked to him and managed a couple of minutes to help the doctor check on him. Inside the appointment room, the doctor takes notice that this man is wearing a bra inside his shirt. The man explains that he has been wearing his daughter's bra for 3 months after his quote unquote problem got worse. The shirt is asked to be taken off, and there he stands, the shirtless man wearing his daughter's bra, showing off the pacemaker that should have been kept inside his body, dangling outside of it. Being held by the left bra cup with a big infected open wound above it with the pacemaker leads still inserted onto his veins and connected to his heart. Nobody has any idea how the man let that situation come to be or how he didn't die of sepsis or any other health problem that may appear for that matter. TLDR, man gets a pacemaker, doesn't show up to appointments, 3 years later comes to the hospital looking for help, wearing his daughter's bra for 3 months to serve as a holder for the pacemaker that got out of his body from his affected open wound. Story 5. EMS here had a diabetic in his 30s through 40s who refused to take insulin since 2012. It was 2020 at the time. When I took his blood sugar, it only read as HI, meaning it was over 700 for glucometer to not read it. Upon seeing this, he asked me if that was high and then went, "Is this because of all the ice cream I ate?" Played Facebook Messenger video with his girlfriend the entire time. Met him later on the parking lot after he got discharged, and it took this man less than 50 paces from the ER door to rip off his band-aid covering his IV and play with the IV wound until it started bleeding all over the place again. Knocked on our ambulance door and asked for a band-aid to fix it. We had to walk him back into the ER and bandage his entire arm with gauze so that hopefully by the time he got it off, it would have clotted enough for him to not end up exsanguating himself. Story 6. My wife is an anesthesiologist. When training junior doctors, one of the things she has to enforce over and over again is that you never leave drugs unattended in an unsecure area in a hospital, even for a moment, because some people see drugs and think, fun, and take them even if they don't know what they are and they just raided a trolley or picked up a syringe off a bedside table. And then because the drugs used for anesthetics in hospitals are quite serious, those people quite literally end up dead or vegetables. And this has happened more than once in hospitals she has worked in. Story 7. VetMed here. We get a lot of patients who need to go on medications for a wide array of persistent problems. These medications keep them under control. So we often get ones with thyroid, diabetes, heart issues, etc., and start them on medications. The patient starts to do great, comes in for another recheck, and is awful. We ask the owner if they're still giving the meds. Nope, they stopped because they were all better. We fully educate the owner, go over medications, and give notes on what to do, and they still do this. Comment 1. My dad is like this. Won't feel well, goes to doctor, gets prescribed a round of antibiotics, even if it shouldn't be treated with antibiotics, takes them for a week until he feels better, then stops, then wonders why he's not getting better anymore. And this man is an engineer. Story 8. Not a medical professional, but I used to volunteer at a free medical clinic to take visits and histories. A woman came in with pneumonia and wanted to know why her normal treatment of drinking half a bottle of Listerine and smoking a pack of cigarettes a day wasn't working. I asked why she thought smoking was good treatment for a lung infection, and she said, in quote, Indians used to purify the ground by burning all the weeds away before planting, so I'm smoking to purify my lungs. Yeah, I left that one to the doctor. Hey guys, can you write a prescription for the subscriber button for me, please? Can you hit that notification bell and put it in the emergency room real quick? Yeah, thank you so much. Do that for me, please.